Fran, Georgia, Serena, Heather. Hi.
Hi!
Hi.
We are just full of people today.
We really are. There was a real sort of resurgence in interest, which was very nice.
Yeah.
Yay!
So, and I keep doing this with our fucking Tumblr page. Like, I'll post up the podcast on Blip, and then I'll completely forget to post it on the Tumblr. So it'll be like a week afterwards, and it'll be like, oh my god, did I forget to post it on the Tumblr? So.
Yeah, I know, you're an idiot, Greer. It's really pissing me off.
Calm down, ladies.
Heather said, just get a Facebook page, and I'm like, I just might try to make
It's not a bad idea.
So, I think it'd be more accessible than Tumblr, you know? I mean, Tumblr's just kind of like the little niche that I had, but...
Yeah, that's exactly what... It's a niche market, I think, whereas Facebook is pretty universal.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not appealing to a niche market at all.
Yeah. What'd you say, Heather?
You can spam your friends with invites to liking it.
Oh, yeah.
Until they all unfriend you.
Look at my page, please. So what are y'all doing?
Well, I'm gonna go and see a midnight showing of Fargo tonight, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've never seen it. But I'm giving myself a little, like, Coen Brothers education.
Dude, you have, like, the best movie theaters. Like, first it was, like, when you saw The Shining, and now Fargo. I'm, like, jealous.
Yeah, I know. There are a lot of, like, independent cinemas in the UK that show, like... that show kind of older movies or not necessarily things that are kind of popular at the moment, and it's really, you just kind of have to look for them. Like, I'm sure they're out there in the US as well.
Yeah,
in like the middle of nowhere.
My friend, because I live in a place that has like 2 movie theaters, and my best friend, when she moved a couple hours away to go to college, her town has this dollar theater where you wait a while for a movie to get there, like say you wanted, like, she went to see Les Mis there, and it was like a month after Les Mis had come out in like normal movie theaters, so she would go to that and pay $1 and go see it, but you just have to like wait a while for a movie to get there.
Oh, yeah, we had a dollar theater too.
You basically get like 90% off of what you would pay for a movie ticket over here.
Yeah. We used to have a dollar theater too. I don't think it's around anymore, but we would always go there when I was a kid, and it was a good thing it was $1 because if I remember, it was a crappy little place. The floors were always so sticky. And
See, this might be just me kind of romanticizing it, but when I went to America when I was like 8, it was the first time I'd ever been to a cinema over there, or the only time I've ever been to a cinema over there, and I remember it being like Pizza Planet in Toy Story. I remember it just being the most exciting place I've ever seen.
Yeah, some of them are still like that. Like the movie theater that I live near, that I actually used to work at, for a couple months. I remember when I first moved here, they had like arcade games and shit, but they had to take them away, and that was like years ago. And I remember like, I don't know, they used to have really cool stuff there, but I guess they needed to save on money, so they had to take a bunch of shit out, you know?
Yeah. No, some movie theaters are okay. There was this one that was like, I don't know, maybe a half-hour drive from my college, and it was like an actual kind of movie theater restaurant. You could like sit down and order food and get drinks.
They have one of those, I think they have one of those at like one of the Disney parks or something.
We're going to stuff like that tonight, actually, and that like you can get like wine and olives and hummus and shit like that.
I think that's genius, because if you're seeing a shitty movie, you might as well get drunk.
Oh yeah. They have like, and the other movie theater that I live near, it's like inside the mall, so in like right next to that mall is a Ruby Tuesday, so it's like it's perfect for like a date and dinner. Like people go there all the time with on dates and stuff. And just like hanging out, because there's literally a Ruby Tuesday just right next to there. So
awesome.
Wow.
I was wondering, like, are drive-in movies, like, because they still kind of have those. They're very novelty in America. Do they have those anywhere else besides America?
They don't have them in the big UK.
I don't know.
Serena, do you have them over there?
We had one when I was really little. And you had to drive, like, out on the highway to get there. But then they closed it down. But there's still one in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, they're, like, really...
In where, sorry?
Saskatchewan.
Road trip.
That's an amazing name.
It's a province.
It's one of my favorite things to say. I like saying Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
The word of the day is Saskatchewan.
I remember when we were studying Canadian geography in middle school, they taught us about the place that's super up north called, I don't know if they still call it Nunavut.
Nunavut, yeah.
Yeah, they still call it, they said it used to be called something else.
Now that's a hell of a name.
Yeah. But
I discovered there's a tube stop near me called Shepherd's Bush, which I think is really funny.
Oh my goodness.
There's a Shepherd's Bush and there's a Cock Foster's.
uh-huh.
Oh my God.
So if you want to foster some cock,
Yeah.
that's the place to be.
You know, one of the nicest restaurants, I don't know if this is, I actually do not know if Hooters is a strictly American restaurant.
Well,
No,
it's in
Hooters is
Canada.
They don't have them, do they have them anywhere else but America?
They have them in the UK, yeah.
Really?
They do?
Yeah,
I
that
thought
is-
only America was that stupid.
Yeah, but
Oh,
if you've ever been to one,
No.
they have some of the nicest service I have ever received at a restaurant.
Well, of course they do. That's what they're known for.
Yeah, I know,
Duh.
like-
It's like the big boobed waitresses.
But the
Well,
way
I
they're
remember,
like super nice. Like those I would like one of them would like sit down and have a full conversation with me, and I'm like, oh, she's really nice. But then I talked to my mom, is like, they're just being nice to get a good tip, and I'm like, Mom, can't you just accept that some people are nice just to be nice?
Well, to be fair, as a waitress, you kind of have to be nice.
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
want
an extra
Yeah,
tip.
I feel bad for anyone who works at Hooters. You think they must get harassed a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
There's nothing they can do about it.
So many school
I
worked
was
at Twitter.
temping at Alexandra Palace, which is like this big venue in the UK, and it was a darts night, so there were loads of like really like laddie guys there, and I had to wear this Santa hat with a really short like Santa mini skirt and like a little like furry Santa jumper, and the shit I got for that, oh my god. And like blokes adding me on Facebook and stuff and like slapping my ass, and
Oh, jeez.
I know.
I watched a show. There's a show over here called Undercover Boss, and they took the CEO of Hooters, and they made him go undercover at like a bunch of different. The point of the show is to take like bosses of. They'll go from. There's a show that does bosses of like local businesses, but then Undercover Boss I think does like CEOs of big businesses, and
That's a cool
since like most small time minimum wage workers don't know who the CEO of their company is. They don't know who he looks like or whatever. Most of the time it's like it could be any guy on the street. But the CEO went undercover at like a bunch of different Hooters around the country, and this one guy was the local manager of this one Hooters, and he was a total douchebag pig. Like he was like this one girl, she must have been about 19 working there, and
Ooh.
I
don't like where that's going.
19 or 20, and she was going to school, she was going to college, and she was telling him like, I need to leave early, I need to go to my class, and he's like, you can't leave, and he had this thing where like he took this plate of baked beans, and he made two girls like eat it, and he's like, if you win you can leave.
What?
And I'm like, what a fucking dickbag.
That's weird.
And he was doing this without anybody knowing. And
So what did the CEO
You
do?
must entertain me. Eat these beans.
But like, every other local manager was like super nice, except for this one dickbag, and he talked to him last, and he didn't fire him or anything. I would have fired that guy on the spot.
Oh,
like-
God, tell me about
Like
it.
the CEO had to walk out. Like he walked
He
out
didn't
of the
get
restaurant.
fired?
He didn't get
Jeez.
fired. He apologized.
That's
and,
not good enough.
Like had to apologize to the girls or whatever. And
Although I bet he felt pretty fucking
he did
stupid.
feel shitty. Like I feel like even if I didn't know the CEO was watching me, there are cameras. There were cameras in there filming that, and he knew
But I
that,
suppose-
and he still did it.
But I suppose the thing is, I don't know whether they have sound on those CCTV cameras, so it would
I think
be very
sometimes they do. It depends.
Well, I feel like if you just see like the manager or whoever standing around with two of the girls that work there, and they're just eating a plate of beans, somebody who's watching the video might be going, what's going on here?
It's a battle to the death. I'm sorry, but that's kind of hilarious.
It wasn't a security camera. This was a camera crew.
No. I mean, if there was a.
Wait, so was it even like a hidden camera?
Well, clearly the guy did it because he knows good TV.
People
want to see beans.
Yeah, the point is, like, you will go undercover. It's like, oh, I'm a new guy working here, and we're gonna document about what it's like to work at Hooters. Like, that's the excuse they give.
If this hadn't happened, though, and it had just been a security camera picking it up, they wouldn't have been able to tell what was going on based on just that.
Well,
but
no,
yeah,
but they would have seen, like, a guy pull out 2 big, bowls of beans and see him, like, forced to eat that. It would be suspicious.
Yeah. That clip on YouTube. They might have that clip on YouTube or something, but
possibly. I think the thing is
awful.
Over here, we just eat big bowls of baked beans as a snack because they're like really good.
But it's
then you could have won.
Yeah.
And I totally could have won, and then I would have got to go home early. But I would have college.
The undisputed.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't know, that's really funny to me. Just like
it's awful though. Like a boss
it is awful,
doing
but it's kind of funny. You cannot leave until you eat these beans.
I thought, Greg, you were going to tell me he had made them do something vaguely kind of sexual.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like,
Well, it might be vaguely sexual to him.
Ew.
Bananas.
I have a banana right next to me, actually.
Oh, really? Eat it.
I'm not even kidding. I was gonna eat it.
How fast would you say you were going to eat it?
I don't know.
Why don't you describe it to our listeners?
The other thing this guy did, though, was that at the beginning of the day, he would line them up and, like, look at them to make sure, like, their outfits were appropriate or that they looked like how they're supposed to in their contract or whatever. Like, it was fucking creepy. And that's not, like, that's not a required thing. You don't have to do that. But he does it every day, and he tells them it's required.
This guy's gone mad with power.
What a fucking creep.
There was a teacher at my old secondary school who used to, if the boys didn't have their shirts tucked in, this is just a rumor, but he would tuck their shirts in for them, like hands right down the trousers.
That's weird.
Whoa.
Well, I read about molestation case where like that was like a big thing, so that's probably true.
Probably, yeah.
But then after, because most of the people that the CEO like talks to and stuff, it's like they have family problems or they're a single mother or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, well, here's a vacation, here's some money to help you get through college or whatever, and then like after it'll tell you like, oh, where they are right now, and it said like that guy had like he kept working there for a little while but then resigned. Your formal apology, worked there for a little while longer and then resigned and was never heard from again.
Being like, oh, douchebag, like.
Yeah.
He went on to shovel more beans elsewhere.
Yeah.
He knew his calling.
Do you lot have a Secret Millionaire?
No.
We probably have shows that are like that,
They
but
did
not
that
that
on
title.
the first season of one of the first seasons of The Bachelor. Or was that The Bachelor? I don't remember, but
It was something like that, I think.
it was that really good-looking guy. It was like early 2000s. It was a super good-looking guy.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
And
Who's that good-looking guy who had
he
the
was
hair
really
and,
good-looking, and
2 eyes and nose.
He had said that he was a millionaire, but he really wasn't. He was working like a minimum wage construction job, and he had said like, yeah, I'm a millionaire, I have all this money, and the girl he would end up with at the end, he would have to tell her, I'm not actually a millionaire, you're not gonna get any of my money because I'm not actually a millionaire. And the point of it was to see like if the girl had actually fallen in love with him or fallen in love with his money.
But do you know what? If a bloke did that to me and lied to me, it wouldn't matter whether I'd fallen in love with him. I'd be like, no.
Well, it's not like he flaunted his money around. They mentioned it like once. It's like, yeah, if you marry this guy, you're gonna get $1 million and be a millionaire.
Yeah, that's a pretty huge promise.
He didn't push it. They just kept it in their heads and be like, man, this guy's a millionaire, I should marry him. And some of the girls were like that. They weren't in love with him. They were in love with the money that they didn't know that he didn't have. So
I don't know. I think going on those programs and lying to people to get on the telly, I think that makes you a prick.
But, like, it almost shows, is anyone really in love, really?
No, because haven't you ever noticed, like, every season of The Bachelor, they're just like, you know, that he picks somebody, they live happily ever after. Give it, like, 5 or 6 months, they're divorced.
No, I don't think any. I think, like, 2. There have been 14 seasons of The Bachelor, I think.
You gotta love this country.
If I'm not mistaken, it's been going on for 14 years. And,
my God.
I'm pretty sure about 2 of them ended up marrying and lasting.
Yeah, so I think that should answer your question,
Yeah.
Serena.
Same with, I think the same with The Bachelorette. None of them
Yeah,
have
she's
lasted.
the only one who's like, yeah, because I keep seeing her in, like, you know, celebrity magazines. And that's the other thing that bothers me. None of these people are celebrities. Why are you in the magazines?
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah, like they're famous for being famous. They don't
Like
actually have
with,
any
I
I know,
skill.
it's like, I'm glad you're happy and you found somebody, but we don't care.
It's like over
Yeah.
here on the tabloids, once, like a few times, actually a lot of the time, we have those shows Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant. Like, those girls will end up on the front of the tabloids.
Those girls
Yeah,
are horse.
That's awful.
I mean,
That
some
is,
of
like,
them,
the
some of
worst
them
of
are, like, legit, like, pretty good people. Like, my mom watches that show. She watches both of those shows, and, like, there's the rare case where, well, most of the girls are, like, pretty cool, but then, like, the problem is, like, the guys are total douchebags and don't want to be a part of it. But then you get the rare case where, like, the boyfriend is actually, like, a really cool guy, and
They're whores.
oh my god.
No, I mean, come on, if you
That's
should know
not
better.
nice.
What?
Well, not necessarily with the state of sex education in this country. They probably don't know any better.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to tell them to wrap it. They're just like, don't have sex. Like, yes,
Yeah, well,
clearly
that
that
is-
works.
that's-
Okay, fine,
isn't
but then
it?
you
I mean-
shouldn't, like, alright, okay, that may be true, but then you shouldn't, like, exploit having, like, a baby on TV and stuff like that, and, you know, expose your child to that. That's
You
fucked
get
up.
See, the
I
way,
need to
but the
help
way
the
I see it,
kid.
guys, is that they are kids themselves. It's the TV programs. that
Exactly.
should
And so then,
that.
like, oh, you know, they have these babies who have to, like, watch their parents, you know, freak out and, you know, deal with all the shit. And
Yeah,
it's like,
kids are just kids. You know, they're just navigating their way, making
I
mistakes.
think if you're 16 and in that situation and then a TV company comes to you and says, we'll give you a bunch of money if you go on TV. If you're trying to raise a kid when you're in high school,
I do have a problem with the exploitation that they do, like putting them on the front of the tabloids and shit. I don't think they should put them in front of the tabloids.
yeah, I keep seeing about one of them that's, like, keeps getting arrested for drugs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's the one.
Yeah.
She's the one who, there's one of them who, like, has been in prison for, like, beating her boyfriend and stuff. Like,
'Cause
while
that's what you want to have as a
boyfriend
mother.
was holding their baby, and, like, it's really fucked up. But,
Jeez.
I don't like the exploitation part of it, especially with the tabloids, but I feel like, in a way, it's an important show to have, because there are girls that I went to school with, they're like, yeah, I can't wait to have children young. And it's like, yeah, I want to have a baby, but then you see these shows where they're through such distress trying to take care of this baby, most of the time dealing with, like, their parents and, you know, their boyfriend if they're a total dick. And
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree, Greer. I think
but then
having
again,
a dialogue is important.
you have the side that there are girls that were actively trying to get pregnant so they could be on TV, which I think was a thing for a while, but I don't think it really happens anymore. But I mean, I don't know.
Shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah.
Ugh. I think you're the first person I've ever met who's made, like, you know, a positive argument for that show.
Because I actually because I've watched it, so it's like, you know.
I haven't watched it, but I can see your point that you could really probably find good and obviously bad aspects of pretty much anything on
My
TV.
sister's
I mean,
made
yeah,
me watch it
there are
before.
dirtbag people on that show. There are such trailer trash on that show, but then there are girls on there who are, like, really legit, like, are emotionally stable, are good moms, the boyfriend's not a dick.
I mean, yeah, I would even be.
But that's not good TV.
Well,
yeah,
it's like
the
that.
executives like,
I would even be reticent about referring to anyone as trailer trash, because at the end of the day, all that means is they're kids who don't come from particularly well-off or educated backgrounds who you know, who fucked up. I mean, I don't really blame them at all. I mean, I think at some point, obviously, people have to start taking responsibility for their actions, but I just think sticking these people on TV, like, as important as it is to start a dialogue, I feel like the point of those shows is so that we can all watch them and judge them and point fingers, and I find that leaves a little bit of a nasty taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't feel like that was the point when they made the show, though. Like, I don't think that was their intention. I think the intention was, well, this is kind of like a big part of American culture right now. The thing I don't understand is why they have to have Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant. Like, both of those shows.
Because you have to see all of it.
Because they're the same damn thing.
Knocked up.
I don't understand why we have to have both of them, because...
Like, this one got pregnant when she was 17. Clearly we need another show.
Yeah.
Exactly. Need to capitalize on all age markets. No one is safe.
And yet there's never been a 72 and Pregnant.
Yeah.
That would be a medical miracle.
Yeah.
Medical miracle. What is the kind? It's after you've stopped having your menopause, or no, when you start your menopause, rather. That's when you
stop having your menopause. I think you might die. So, I don't know.
No, I think you just go. You just go
through
have
sex,
menopause.
you'll die.
No, I'm not a doctor.
I think once menopause is over, you're officially no longer able to have children.
Yeah.
I think once it starts, you might be able to. I'm not 100% sure.
You know what's weird though? This one time, like, we get Time magazine in my house, and they had this one article about, like, this hospital, and this, like, all the people that kept coming and going. They had this one lady, she was, like, 70-something, and she had a baby. And everyone was just like, what the hell? It was like, such a weird picture, too. She was just, like, holding the baby.
A lot of those.
That's what I did.
You guys, I think one of the best shows on television is fucking... That TLC show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant.
That's horrifying.
I see clips of that on the Soup. It's hilarious.
Is the
There's
best
always the
show.
toilet baby.
That is the best show. Kathy Griffin does a really great bit talking about that show. It is so funny. Where it's like...
I heard Kathy got cancelled, by the way.
Did it?
Yeah.
Shit!
They ran out of too many toilet babies.
Yeah, really. but
that's what it is. They're just like, I have to, my stomach hurts. I have to go to the bathroom. Oh no, it wasn't a turd, it was a baby.
Like, to be fair, there are medical anomalies where it's like, that's kind of weird that the baby bump didn't show up, and that's weird that she didn't have any symptoms, but there are stories on there that it's like, she was having back pain, and she was throwing up in the morning, and her legs were hurting for some reason, and I'm like, fucking, you're pregnant, bitch!
How bloody stupid do you have to be?
As somebody who's incredibly paranoid, I don't like...
And
I don't like knowing that that's a possibility, because now I'm like, well, shit, I may... Because there's ones where they're like, I still had my period and stuff, and I'm like, well, that's not an indicator anymore. Fuck, I'm pregnant.
It's an anomaly. It doesn't mean it's, common, so you shouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, but,
Ray's pregnant.
Yeah.
With your baby!
But yeah, Kathy Griffin in her stand-up does this great bit about it where it's like, when she says, like, I watch so much TV, and when I see a title, like, I didn't know I was pregnant, I just have to watch it. And at first I turned it on, and I'm like, oh, it must be about those girls who live in third world countries that are raped by their fathers and forced to have children. And she's like, no, it's dumb bitches from here who already have 2 or 3 kids.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to... There's a show, talking of, like, names of shows that are just, like...
I know, I love stuff like that with, like, you're just flipping channels and you see weird names, like...
Yeah, at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning on, like, the weirdest cable channels, like, the most obscure things that you can find. There's one, I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it's about... I think it might be an American show, actually. It's a reality show about a dwarf. It's a dwarf dating show. But
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that, but cool.
Is it Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage isn't involved in everything that involves midgets, okay?
I didn't say that. And midget is not PC anymore, Georgia.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Me, Georgia Davis.
I ran out of things to say.
That's enough. That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Excuse me, princess. That says it all. But oh my god, the theme tune for that whole I've forgotten what it's called, Legend of Zelda show.
Yeah.
Like, not just the excuse me, princess bit. The whole theme tune is so fucking funny. Or the whole intro bit, anyway.
Oh, for the cartoon for Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
Oh my
The
god,
thing-
yeah.
Like, actually, there's a clip on YouTube of every excuse me, princess.
I've seen that. I love that. I love
So, like,
that.
but people that don't know how funny this is, I'm gonna just quickly give you a little taste.
Yeah. It's one of the greatest videos I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
And I mean, if you think just the audio is funny, like, if you're
The
listening to this...
animation is so derp on that show.
Oh, it's so derp. I mean, it's like the Return of Jafar. Just like things like people's eyes are like halfway up their head and like
Yeah.
eyebrows disappear, and it's just fucking shit.
Fucking 80s animation.
It's a piece of shit. Here we go.
Hey, excuse me, princess. Well, excuse me, princess. Excuse me, princess. Excuse me, princess. Hey, excuse me.
I think Fran is stuck on repeat.
Okay, but I want to know who does that guy's voice?
No idea.
To IMDb!
Yeah, really.
Me, princess. Hey, excuse
I think my favourite one's coming up. Oh, this is pretty good. He's fighting a snake here.
princess.
Oh,
Excuse me, princess.
Crap, what was the name of that show again? It was just like
Legends
of Zelda? Oh,
yeah,
right.
Princess.
Okay.
Excuse me, princess.
oh, that's quite sort of like chipper and flirty.
Princess? His
Visible.
Well, excuse
Oh,
name is Jonathan Potts.
Oh my god.
that's my favourite one.
Where he's falling off the cliff?
Excuse me, princess.
Wow, he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think, voiceover is pretty effective.
That fucking video is like 2.5 minutes long of just that. It's amazing.
It's incredible. It's one of those things I watch when I've come home at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't.
And everything
want
is funnier at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
It's true.
Like, it's something that, and it's infinitely funnier with other people
Oh yeah.
when you're watching, like the Screaming Goats.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Screaming Goats is just always
Yeah,
funny.
the Taylor Swift goats. Or depending what video you watch, it's like they have it with Adele, they have it with Bon Jovi, they have it with
Yeah, I keep hearing about
Rihanna.
this screaming goat thing. Like, the only one I saw was the Super Bowl commercial. So what is that, like, from? Or
Well, I don't know. I mean, the only one I've seen, I haven't seen many of the, like, ones with celebrities. I've just seen a clip of just a series of goats sounding like humans screaming.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
it's
they're
not
trying
real.
to get out. Like, they're humans trapped in goats,
yeah.
trying
Creepy.
to get out and screaming. And there are just a bunch of idiots with their camera phones being like,
Yeah.
Like, how mad would you go if that was you and you were that human in the goat?
demon goats are funny.
Yeah. No, but it's like I think they've said like people have said like, oh, those aren't real like screams, those aren't whatever. But I'm like, I don't care. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, but,
I'd
like-
rather, if ignorance is bliss, then I'd rather be ignorant in this case.
Oh yeah.
But like even in some of the music videos, like some of the goats aren't even goats; they're actually sheep.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So it's just farmyard animals in general screaming, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though?
It's
That's
like
like
that
one of my
dramatic
biggest...
squirrel or whatever it's called. It's actually a
Oh
prairie
yeah,
dog.
the dramatic, what was it, hamster? I love that.
Yeah.
It's a prairie dog, though.
That's good.
But it's so funny.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Lying on the cold hard ground.
Somebody murdered?
Jesus Christ.
Every time a Taylor Swift song plays, someone dies. That was really
That's
scary.
not cool. Someone actually did die listening to Taylor Swift.
God, really?
No, really?
Yeah, it was like in one of those teen magazines. This guy died when he was listening. He was listening to Taylor Swift in his car, and then he got in an accident.
Wow.
That has nothing to do with it.
No, I think it
That's
was
like
intentional.
something that would that's how I'm gonna go.
He was listening to an Adam Lambert song in their car.
I was listening to fucking something and I'll just die, you know? That's how I'm gonna go.
A minute ago, when I can't remember who said it, but one of you guys said that somebody had actually died listening to Taylor Swift. Like, I really wasn't sure that was true, because, like, a couple of times recently, I've been told things, like, as a joke that obviously aren't true, and I've been like, wait, what, really? Like, yesterday, my friend Bobby told me that, like, your penis keeps growing after you die.
What?
Wouldn't a lot of, like, graveyards have, like, bumps in them and stuff from the
Yeah,
ground?
like, they would look like fucking, like, water, like, hose things, like, it was just the
So
most...
weird.
Fran,
That's disgusting.
Fran, is your friend Gavin or something?
Is that the sort of thing Gavin would say?
Yeah.
What
is
I really
your penis?
No, it's Bobby, my best friend.
Yeah. I heard that your penis.
I heard that your penis keeps growing. I don't know why I'm faking a British accent.
Yeah.
Wow, how meta of you.
He's from Oxfordshire, so if you can fake one of those accents.
Hang on, where's he from?
Oxfordshire.
Oh, that's fairly generic.
Yeah.
That's just sort of a reasonably kind of middle class British accent.
Yeah.
I can do Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
I think I've done that before.
What are you going on about?
I don't know, I'm still thinking about that crazy goat song.
Yeah.
Because that song is, like, probably, it's one of those, like, catchy songs that just, like, stays in your head.
I love that song. I was kind
Well,
of
now
like,
I got the screaming in my head.
yeah, I love that song. I like that Taylor Swift album. I love that Taylor Swift.
I can't.
I
stand
love
pop
that Taylor
music.
Swift.
I love the Taylor Swift.
I love that Taylor Swift.
I don't
Aw.
understand how people like pop music.
I have to say,
Because,
like,
I don't know, people have always liked pop music. It's like,
Yeah, I know, but I thought I kind of go with the assumption that the pop music industry, at least like the Taylor Swifts and the Justin Biebers, and like when I was a kid, the NSYNC, are kept going by, you know, the little teeny bopper girls, and then I find out adults listen to it. I'm like, why?
Well, I think
There's real
it's both.
music.
It's both. There are teeny boppers who listen to that too.
Mm.
I just like everything. Like, I mean, I tend to lean towards, like, because I think the thing is, like, when I was a teenager, I thought 90s pop music, like the Spice Girls and Bewitched and NSYNC, I thought that was the best stuff in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
look back
know,
now,
right?
it's whatever you were a teenager, you know, whatever
Yeah.
was popular when you were a teenager, whatever you danced to at a school disco, I think you're gonna have a
Yeah.
kind of affection for.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
I
a lot
totally
of
agree.
songs From, like, you know, a long time ago that we think are classics, a lot of them were pop songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the Beatles, certainly.
When I think of the Beatles, I usually associate them with rock music, but I guess they were technically pop at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing
Yeah.
is they really spanned quite a lot of genres, the Beatles. So, I mean, it's sort of arguable. I mean,
They were
I
pop
really,
when they started.
yeah, I think you're right. I think they probably were.
Yeah,
I
when they
really
first
like
started, they
things-
were like a boy band, and all the girls were just like freaking out and fainting and stuff. So they
Yeah,
were like the first
I
boy
love
band.
seeing footage of girls like going absolutely
Yeah.
late over the Beatles. That's just so funny to me and so cool.
Oh, guys,
Yeah?
it's a week till 420.
What?
Smoke
Dude.
it up. Blaze it up. Our next podcast will be recorded on 420.
420, I used to be, like, the only kid at school. It was so lame.
Really?
Yeah. Like, me and my Christian friend Tiffany would be, like, the only kids at school. We're like, oh,
Everybody else is celebrating 420. And Fran is.
I think Fran is right now. She went off to go smoke a doobie.
Fran,
Save some for us, Fran.
you're not busy. I know you aren't.
Hey guys, sorry about
You
that.
blazing it up without us?
I just lit up a fat one.
Yeah. Do you guys have 420 over there? Is 420 like an international thing?
420?
420 is
like 420 is a bunch of things. Like apparently there's like other stuff that happened on 422 besides that. I forget what, but it's like
isn't that some sort of drug related thing?
It's marijuana. It's weed.
I don't know where it comes from.
I think it originated in Australia.
Cool.
Either Australia or New Zealand, I want to say.
The 422 thing though, why is it?
420 is I think
Pot day basically.
Yeah, it's a week from now, April 20th. Yeah, I'll look it up. I think it originated in Australia. I think it's either I don't even think it's a date. I think it just comes from somewhere. I'm not really sure.
When I was a teenager...
Well, if it's related from pot, then it doesn't really have to come from anywhere. Just, yeah. It made sense last week.
Yeah, from people's highly addled mindset. But I thought for years when I was a teenager that I was smoking pot. And then I realised that, like, I didn't know how to inhale properly. So I'd been just acting stoned. Like,
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is good shit. Like, who's your guy? Like, no fucking idea.
I find that when I'm with my friends, I kind of get high just being with them.
Yeah, I get high on life.
Yeah.
Aww.
Like, I don't do right in your face when you said you were high on life.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a pretty damn depressing thing to happen. Sorry, Greer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's harsh.
No, I just need laughing in someone's face when they say they're high on life, kind of a douchey thing to do.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I got high on life. I found
Hugh Laurie was my avatar.
I found a couple different stories of where 420 comes from. Nothing to do with Australia. I apologize about that.
Sorry, Australia, you're not cool enough.
Apparently, like everyone thought it was a police code at first, but
ironic.
Apparently, it was coined in 1971 by this group of 5 high schoolers. They were gonna like pull a prank or something, or they had like a hangout spot. And it was this statue of some guy at their high school grounds, and 4:20 p.m. was their meeting time. So they had this phrase 420 Lewis, because the name of the guy was Lewis, and then they would just have evolved into a code word somehow for teenagers to mean just pot smoking in general.
I hate to interrupt, but just hearing 420 Lewis just makes me picture Linkara just like hitting a bong or something. Which would be freaking awesome.
They have like big events, Fran, if you didn't know, they have big events on 420 at 4:20 p.m. On April 20th each year, where like people will get together, especially in California. It's big on the West Coast. It's really big west of the Mississippi. Not so much here.
Well, yeah, that's because a few states like legalized it.
Yeah, west of
like,
the Mississippi.
Colorado
and
did.
I think that's where I got the Australia part from. It's big in Australia and New Zealand. But people will like gather in this huge like group of people in like a meadow and just smoke pot in huge groups of like hundreds of people, and we'll just smoke pot.
It sounds almost like Woodstock. They would all just like sit together in a field and sing songs.
They don't even sit in a field. They just stand there and smoke pot.
Well, eventually you'd sit down if it's really good.
Yeah. In Winnipeg, everyone did that on the legislature. Had the legislature on their property. Everyone smoked pot there. So I thought it was like a government institutionalized thing.
Well, it's basically
That's awesome, dude.
It is kind of a day to advocate for the legalization of marijuana as well. But I think people just don't really care about that at that point and just want to get together and smoke a joint. So
yeah.
We're gonna legalize it, but I forgot what we were doing.
I forgot why I was here.
Let's get donuts.
Yeah, legalized donuts.
I always thought how it was dumb, because some people have this argument that like, well, if we legalize pot, there are gonna be more crimes, and I'm like, well, there would be less crimes, because when you're on fucking weed, you don't want to do anything except sit on your couch and eat Doritos.
I know.
You don't feel like going anywhere and committing
I know
crimes.
You think Family Guy, Greer, but there's a really good Family Guy joke about that where, like,
they've legalized pot and like everything's really great, and someone says like, yeah, the ratings for Doctor Who are through the roof.
Dude, I don't even watch Doctor Who, but if I were high enough, I would probably just watch the introduction like over and over. Because I've seen it and it's cool looking, but I would just be like, whoa.
Yeah, that song is the trippiest.
Like, that would just be enough for me.
Oh yeah.
I know. The thing about, the legalizing pot thing, it's just so annoying, because, like, there's people who's just like, crime will increase, blah, 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 but then,
Crime
like...
would not increase.
I know, and then, like, people keep worrying so much about it, but...
That is the last thing that would...
When you look past that, actually, there are some good things that would happen. Like, it helps people with cancer. Like, my cousin, on her last few days, she was in a lot of pain. She smoked a lot, and it helped her with her pain. And it would help give people jobs, because, like, if it was legalized, we would need people to grow it and tend it, so then you would need people, and that would, sort of raise the economy in a way.
It helps people with pain management, I know that much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had migraines, and I started smoking, and it helps a lot.
What did you say, Serena?
I said there'd be less gang violence, because we wouldn't have as much drug trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
all the gangs would just be like, man, I'm gonna...
be policed properly. Like, I mean, that's something that doesn't really get taken into account. Teenagers are gonna do drugs either way, so you might as well make it, like, as safe for them as possible.
And make some money off it.
Is it illegal over there,
No, that's American.
Yeah, it is illegal over here. I'm not even sure you can get medicinal marijuana over here. I'll have to look that up.
Serena, is it legal over there?
Just medicinal.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was legal in Canada.
No, kids at my school get busted all the time for it.
Oh, it sucks.
Apparently the UK is one of the few countries where Jaeger bombs are legal.
What is that?
Oh, really?
A Jaeger bomb. It's Jaeger and, like, it's Jaeger and a few shots of vodka, I think.
It's like a big drink, isn't it?
Yeah, but in lots and lots of countries in Europe, apparently it's illegal.
Does it kill people?
Well, my cousin Ellie, I was at the pub and I got a Jaeger bomb, and she was like, seriously, Fran, be careful, because I had like a couple of those at a party once, and then I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and like had a panic attack.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I have them all the time, though. Like, because if I drink wine, I just want to go to sleep by midnight, so that's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
wine
so
makes
fun.
me sleepy too.
Wine makes me... I do love it, though. Wine is okay when I'm like... I think I'll stay in and watch Sherlock all night and not talk to anyone. Like, wine is fine for those sorts of nights.
Ugh, I had the worst hangover from, like, wine. It was, like, a week ago. My head was killing me. Ugh,
oh, yeah.
so bad.
Hangovers are genuinely one of the most unpleasant experiences you can
I
go.
can't drink legally yet.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm sort of... not confused, but sort of intrigued about it. Like, people can be alcoholics, but it's like... All right, if you like to drink, that's fine, but how the hell do you deal with the hangover the next morning? Like, that hurts.
You I mean, I won't go into too much detail, but one of my sort of close mates, that person will just kind of continue to drink.
What's the legal drinking age over there?
18?
18? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, here too.
It's 18. God damn. It's 21 here, so...
Yeah,
You'll
I know,
get
that's
to it
nuts.
eventually, Greer.
I
It's
know,
not like
I
it's
don't
going anywhere.
I don't feel the need to, though, because I've had alcohol before. It's perfectly legal for your parents to give you alcohol in your own home. Like, that's perfectly legal and fine. But it's like, from everything I've had, it's like fucking disgusting.
I can't stand the taste of alcohol.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
It's an acquired taste. I don't like beer or lager, but I like wine and vodka.
Well, I was at a friend's
mixed
house and
drinks,
she let us try her like Sam Adams, I think it was. It was some beer that's I think popular in New England.
Beer.
And I tried it. My sister tried it, and I'm like, this tastes like piss. Why do you drink this?
I tried Kahlua once and I wanted to die.
I thought I would like
Kahlua.
Kahlua because I like coffee. Like, it's a coffee liqueur, right?
I love girly drinks. Like, anything
I
sweet.
thought I would like it a lot, but I
Yeah,
couldn't
cocktails
stand it.
I like really flamboyant
I
cocktails.
feel like I would too, because I like fruit, so...
I was
Yeah.
at the
They're
liquor
kind of fun anyway. They're fun to drink.
the other day, and I
Okay.
saw that
Oh.
Godiva has a chocolate liqueur, and I'm like,
Find it for me, now.
I know
that sounds delicious, but then every time I try alcohol, I can't stand it because I'm a pussy.
on my 18th birthday, I had one of those like really like sugary drinks, and it was really good. Except when I tasted it, I was like, this would be really good if there was no alcohol in it.
Yeah, I have to admit, like, I felt like that for a lot. I mean, it's kind of terrible, really. I drank until I didn't hate the taste anymore, which is a really terrible, terrible.
That makes you sound like an alcoholic.
I know I do drink too much. I probably do drink a bit too much, but I mean, you know,
we all have our vices.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in my 20s. I expect I'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
No, but like drinking, I agree with you, Fran. Like, not that you drink until you like it, but it does. It is an acquired taste, and it does take a while. You just have to sort of find what you like. Like for me, I love girly drinks. Like. It's just weird because I'm kind of a tomboy, but I just love like mixed drinks, like flavored vodkas. Oh my god!
I really like Bloody Marys.
Pinnacle?
I can't really...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Greer, if you like sweet stuff, try and find Pinnacle vodka. They have like, oh my god, so many different flavors, and they're so good.
I hear Smirnoff has a cotton candy flavored vodka.
I think they do.
Or
I know.
Is it marshmallow or I can't remember.
Yes, they do. I have actually, dude. I have it down in my house.
Really?
It's delicious.
Really?
It goes great with milk, actually.
I think they had a bacon one for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
sadly, I
saw
believe you.
Yeah.
A bacon maple like beer or lager, and I was like,
Well, no, this was bacon vodka, and I'm like,
wow,
that would taste weird. Especially since I at least know as much as to say that vodka tastes like lighter fluid, so it's like lighter fluid and fucking breakfast,
Well, maybe not. Well, actually, there is one that could taste like breakfast. There's what is it? There's a vodka called Three Olives, and they also have their own like crazy flavors, and one of them is Fruit Loops.
Oh, that's cute.
And somebody told me the Breakfast of Champions is that drink with milk.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, that's the Breakfast of Champions.
Well, I just thought it was funny.
Oh god, no, the most disgusting breakfast thing I've ever seen is a fry up in a can. So it's like
a what can?
Like a fry up, when you have a fry up in the morning, you've got like a couple of eggs and hash browns and beans and toast and shit like that.
Beans! More beans!
Basically a grand slam at Denny's.
Oh wow.
But like and like mushrooms and tomato and shit like that. But I saw like a fried British breakfast in a can, and this was in a supermarket, and it had all the stuff on it, like. It had the full English fry up, but it was just in a can. And I thought, so you've condensed this stuff down into a can, and it's been sitting on that shelf for God knows how long.
Yum!
You guys ever seen that sandwich in a can?
Oh,
it's really gross looking.
Ew.
And then I remember I saw like a cheeseburger in a can.
Oh,
I'm like,
Did you see them?
That's making me gag. I don't understand
cheeseburger.
why that exists.
What about those like breakfast pogos where it's like a sausage on a stick wrapped in a pancake?
Oh yeah, dude, we invented
what
that
the
shit.
hell?
It's fucking okay, it's like I don't know who makes it. I think it must be like one of the sausage companies, but they'll have like a corn dog. It's like a corn dog, except it's a breakfast sausage on a stick, wrapped in a chocolate chip pancake with syrup infused into it.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Wow.
But we made that shit. And I am so sorry.
I love how there's
world.
whenever I go shopping for like my vegetarian microwavable stuff, they always have like vegetarian corn dogs. And I'm like, just in case you want the horribleness, but want to not eat the meat.
See, I quite like corn and tofu and things like. Yeah, I quite I don't mind meat substitutes so much.
Yeah.
It depends.
Like bacon, I quite like bacon.
I like turkey burgers. Turkey burgers are pretty good.
I think I've had a turkey burger before.
Depending on where you have it, turkey burgers are really good.
Yeah, I think I did. My sister was like a health nut for a few years. She was like full on vegan, so I had some of her food, and some of it was good, but some of it was just like disgusting.
Yeah, it varies its
chocolate
quality
milk
pretty
without chocolate
drastically.
milk?
I've had chocolate soy milk, and it's
Yeah, that's
once you get past the fact that it's not milk. Like when I first started drinking soy milk, it's like, this tastes like beans. It's weird.
No, but this wasn't even that. This was like, God, it was like, it looked like dirt, and it tasted like dirt. It was, it was so
I had a
disgusting.
vegan cookie once, and I was like, oh my god, that's disgusting.
I had a vegan cookie once, and I actually really liked it, but it was like double chocolate fudge, and I was just like, oh.
Fran, what were you gonna say?
Oh, wait.
Forgot?
No, that's it. I was going to ask you, like, are corn dogs hot dogs? Like, why do you call them corn dogs?
Oh,
Corn dogs is something else.
Corn dogs
They're
is something else.
Corn dogs.
They're like a
hot
hot dog dipped in batter and like fried.
Hot dog is
But
in a
why-
bun.
but why?
Corn dog is dipped in cornmeal and fried.
Oh, cornmeal. Oh, okay, right.
It's cornmeal, yeah.
Okay.
I
I
like
just
corn
knew
dogs,
batter.
so
Know what the batter was made out of.
yeah, it's
But
corn.
also, I find it really surprising. I'm not surprised because I'm sort of used to it from seeing it on TV and stuff. But like, yeah, the fact that you guys have pancakes as a breakfast in America, I find that really kind of like.
Is that a
You
strange
don't eat
thing?
pancakes?
Well, no, we do, but we have something over here. I don't know whether you have it. We have Pancake Day.
Pancake Tuesday or something, right?
Yeah, well, it's called Shrove
Shrove
Tuesday,
Tuesday, yeah.
which is a religious thing, or Pancake Day.
Yeah.
And yeah, you eat a
I don't
shit
think we
ton of
have
pancakes
it.
on
You have a holiday for pancakes?
It's sure
Yeah, we
it's the
have
day after
Pancake
Mardi
Day.
Gras.
That's awesome.
It's the day after
That's
Mardi
together.
Gras, right?
Sorry?
It's the day after Mardi Gras, or the Tuesday after Good Friday, right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's
Yeah, the
that
Tuesday
it's that Easter, not Easter, but it's like around Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I believe. Oh no,
Weird.
actually, no. I think Pancake Day is in February,
Yeah,
and then Easter, I believe.
Easter was
It's
like
in-
a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
know, it's
usually
nuts.
it's in March, so it was Good Friday,
Remember,
Easter Sunday,
I was
Sunday.
just thinking, like, remember when you were a kid and Easter was awesome?
Yeah.
Like, it was up there with like Christmas and shit, but then you got older and it's like, this is like nothing. I don't get it.
Once you start making your own money, you
There was
realize
no
that you
use
could
to this
buy
holiday
a
because
shit
of-
ton of candy.
It's like that holiday becomes completely useless when you're not a child anymore. Unless
Well-
you're like super religious, but you know.
Like, on Easter, we'd always like find all the chocolates, and then me and my brother, like, we're not that crazy about chocolates, so we'd like eat one, and then the rest would just rot.
I'll eat them. Send them to me.
I
I
fucking
love chocolate.
I wish they would have like adult Easter egg hunts, like for adults.
You probably could do
I
that.
fucking love Easter egg hunting.
But haven't you noticed that Easter chocolate always has like that waxy quality?
Yeah,
Like,
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can scrape at it with
I
your
could care
fingernails.
less about the chocolate though. Like I love finding Am I the only person over 18
No,
who
I
likes
agree.
Easter egg hunting?
I completely agree. My dad used to do like clues and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I used to know people that got Easter presents, and I fucking hated those kids.
Yeah.
yeah, everyone hates those kids.
What kids? I
This
missed
is
it.
awkward.
They would get presents for Easter, like
I
not
would
just
too.
eggs.
Like the
Well, I got
Easter
those
bunny would come.
those frickin' those plastic baskets with like the cheap toys
Yeah.
and then a bunch
Yeah,
of
that's
candy.
all I would get, or a chocolate.
No,
Easter bunny would
I
come.
had friends that would get like videos and shit like that, and I was like, dude, that's not fair. I've just got this shitty chocolate.
I would get
My
chocolate and like magazines and like just
Who would give
little
a kid a
stuff.
magazine?
Like not well, it was a magazine.
I gotta tell your parents don't like you very much.
No, 'cause, like I would get
Like,
and my brother.
Mom, I can't read yet.
My-
Nah, you'll be fine.
No, but it was like when I was older and I was into like Tiger Beat and shit. So, but my brother would get like Hot Wheels cars, and it was like combined like my Easter basket would not be like combined. The total would not come to $30, but it was still cool, you know. I think once in a while, like a couple times, maybe I got like a cassette or like a Barbie doll or something, but.
Oh, Barbies.
I mean, that was, you know, the fucking morning when the Easter Bunny came. That was like it was like twice a year. When we were kids, we would have someone visit our house and leave us presents. But now it's only, but then when we grew up, it was only like once a year, and now it's nonce a year.
Your parents don't do Santa
Nuns.
just because you're grown up? What the hell?
No, they did. The last time they did it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
my
same.
aunt.
The last one I
Wow.
got was about 3 years ago, and it was a Ben 10 egg.
My aunt is 25 years old in her third year in college, and her mom still does Santa when she comes.
Really? We didn't.
Yes.
My parents have not done that in like 3 years.
Your parents suck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn, that escalated quickly.
I don't get the Santa thing either.
We give each other presents, but we don't like say, Santa left
I'm
them.
constantly trying to convince my parents not to get me stuff, and then they're like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
Really, you're so.
Are you,
honestly,
wait, hold on a second. No, are you one of those people that's like, no, don't give me expensive gifts?
I have friends like
But-
that, but whatever.
Well, see, I don't like it typically when people buy
I
me
will
presents for
gladly
Christmas
accept your
because
Like
then I
what?
feel like I have to get them a present, and I'm cheap as fuck. So I'm like, don't get me shit.
Well, honestly, like I'm not cheap. I'm opportunistic. So I'm the opposite of you, Heather. What I did this year was I thought, okay, now we're all adults, we all have full-time jobs. I can get my parents a really nice present and therefore not feel so guilty when they lavish me with goodies. So I got my parents tickets for Oliver, and then like a couple of weeks later, they were like, and I spent an arm and a leg on these, and my parents were like, yeah, Fran, we're not going to get you big presents this year, because, you're 24 years old now.
Oh, that's so
like,
mean.
When I had a job, I bought my parent like the first. I had to have that for some reason. I would just buy people stuff because I had the expense, just had money.
It feels great when you get your first big
So I
proper
bought my parents like a GPS for Christmas,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah, I can buy you something." And I don't have a job, and I'm like,
Yeah, there was a
I don't even
time.
remember
There was a
what I got.
time about 2 years ago where I had a bunch of expenditure. Not gonna go into any details, but I bought my mom. I bought two big gifts. I bought my mom a Nook, an e-reader, and then I bought my best friend a Nintendo DS. So that was
Wow.
yeah, that was like the.
Wow.
She was like, that's the best, because she's like 20, 21, and she'd always wanted like video games and stuff, and she had a Nintendo 64, but it was like right at the end of the Nintendo 64's life cycle, so it was like nobody played them anymore, but she was still happy to have it.
Mhm.
But her parents never got her video games or anything. She had a Game Boy for a while, but she was like, I want a GameCube, I want a PlayStation, but her parents like weren't into that. So and she always wanted a DS, so I got her a DSi. So
Oh, Chris,
That's nice
such
of
a
you.
lovely thing to
Aw.
do.
and she the hard thing was she was shopping with me. Like I had taken her with me to help shop for like my brother and my mom, and to help look at e-readers and stuff, because I was dead set on getting my mom an e-reader that year. No matter how, no matter if I'd had the money or not, I wanted to somehow get my mom like a Kindle or something. But so I had to get her out of the store somehow. I had to. So I'm like, I bought this video game chair for my brother, and I'm like, well, can you go like here's the money. Can you go buy this, and then put it in your car? And so she did that. She went off and did that. Or I'm like, why don't you go like look at other stuff? Like, don't you want to like look for something for me? And go off and do that. And I tried to get her out of there. And
I love that. Don't you want to look for something
but
for
then
me?
at first when she opened it, she had thought, because like you like reuse boxes to put things in for Christmas, so it's
Yeah.
like it'll be a box with like a like the box will be like for a blender, but then inside it's like a pair of pants, So you're like super excited at first, but then you see how light it is, and it's like, oh well, now I'm super disappointed because I'm not getting a blender, and or like a stereo. So like my friend at first thought like it was a box that I had for mine. And I don't have that brand of DS, so I don't know why she thought that. But she just sat there like, wait, is this like, I thought it was gonna be like a necklace or something. Like she was, and she felt kind of bad because all she got me was like, I forgot what she had gotten me, but it was like she felt really bad about it. And I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I wasn't really pissed off with my parents. They got me video games. Like that's fucking awesome. That's all I need.
Yeah. That's a motto. Video games, that's all I need.
My mom one time was in line at Toys R Us, and there was like this woman behind her and she had left the kid with the cart while she went to get something. And
Whoa.
right, and so the kid is with the cart, and of course he's next in line, but the mom's not back, so he keeps letting people go in front of him. And so the mom comes back, and she's like so mad at this kid, and she's like, no, it was horrible. She's like swearing at him, and she's saying like she's gonna put all the presents back.
You
And
witnessed
mom's
this?
God.
What?
You witnessed this?
Yeah, and so my mom
God.
turned around and said, I can't remember what she said. She said, what the hell do you think you're doing to this kid? Oh, and good job buying all his presents in front of him. Merry fucking Christmas, bitch.
Oh, mom ponage.
Yeah.
Yeah. About it. God, I want to have a go at parents so much. Like my friend Dan, he saw this mum and her kid on a bus, and it was at the stop, and the mum and the kid got on, and the little girl was like, "Oh, hold on tight, mummy," because she was excited about the bus.
Yeah.
And the mum turned to her apparently and went, I am holding on tight. What do you think I'm doing?"
Well, she might have just been in a bad mood.
What a cunt.
Or she was a cunt, you know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But I remember.
See the whole parents being dicks. I always see people with really obnoxious children, and I don't know.
Kids can be dicks too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They can be, but you know, it's still hard to watch. Like, I went to this like water park once. This was so long ago, and I forget who I was walking with, but I saw this like horrible man was like yelling at his kid, and the kid was like crying, and he hit him, and he was just like shit.
I know.
I was like shocked. I was like, you know, you're in a public area.
I mean, when you witness things that are like almost, you know, not just parents snapping because they're in a bad mood, but real kind of borderline abuse. I mean, it's like I was on holiday once, and I was waiting in the lobby of the kind of big swimming pool thing, and a mum came out like dragging her little boy behind her, and she said something like, "You're gonna get a really good hiding. What are you gonna get?" And the little boy was like, "A really good hiding." And I was like, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
I
live in the fucking American South, and that shit happens at least about every other third time I go to the grocery store. Like, it's fucking
Lord.
Or like borderline. Like, if I see, I'm waiting for the day when a mom hits their kid in the middle of the grocery store, and I could just go up and mouth off, because I'm waiting for that day. Because my mom would be like, "Yeah, good job," 'cause she raised me like that.
I raised you to beat up people.
I raised you to yell at abusive mothers. My mom, when my mom was pregnant with my little brother, I was like 2 or 3 maybe, and she's told me this story before, that I was with me and my little girl best friend at the time, and it was my mom.
What? I was with me.
I was no.
Deep.
It was me, my mom, and my dad, and this little girl I was friends with that was my age, and then her mom and dad, and we were at the mall, and they were sitting in the food court. My mom was like 6 or 7 months pregnant with my little brother, so she was like huge, and they were at the food court in the mall, and me and my friend were like running on the escalators and stuff, and just having a grand old time, and there was this this man and this woman sitting at a few tables from my parents, and they were talking behind their backs about how misbehaved we were, and it's like, look at those parents letting their kids run around the store like that, and my mom heard them, and she turned around. My 7 months pregnant mother just went off on these people, apparently.
Well, you don't mess with a pregnant lady.
My dad remembers this so well, because it was just mouthing off, and they weren't talking to, you know, she was like, "Those are not your children," and, you know, they are not hurting themselves, they are not, you know, getting in anybody's way, they are very, you know,
I hate this thing. It makes me sad. This thing that if children behave like children, they're somehow not behaving properly or misbehaving. It's like yesterday I was in Selfridges, which is like a big posh department store over here, and I just went there because like there's a lot of quite fun free shit to do. And there's this like meditation room there where like it's a massive room and you go through these like dark hallways to get in it, and like all the walls are padded and they play really calming music, and it's just like I'd never been in there before, and it was quite a cool idea. Did you just
say like a padded room with calming music? Are you in a mental ward right now?
Yeah, self-reduced mental ward. But no, so I went in and there were just like a couple of other people in there, and I kind of like lay down and I thought, oh, this is quite a cool idea. And this middle class sort of pretentious rich woman was like, I don't know, she was in there and she had like a load of Selfridges bags and Harrods bags, and I didn't really kind of pay her that much attention. But there were these like little 10-year-old kids, and granted, this was a sort of Friday afternoon, what these poor kids were doing stuck in a Selfridges, because I mean Selfridges is like, I mean, that's like really sort of expensive. That's not like a mall where like you can go as a kid and have fun. Mm-hmm. So they were waiting for, I think, their brother, who was also in the meditation room, and they were kind of like running around the little hallway bit. But you could barely hear them. They were like whispering, and because all the floors were padded, you could just hear them kind of patting along quietly. And this bloody woman says to them like, "Excuse me, can you be quiet, please?" And I'm like, give them a break, they're just children. And she's like, they've got a whole shop to run around. And I'm like, yeah, running around Selfridges, that's not going to end in disaster. And she was like, well, in my day when education existed, and I fucked off at that point. But yeah, God almighty, like, that makes me so angry, that attitude. It might have actually been a mental ward in hindsight, Georgia.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds scary.
I wonder if I can Google it, because it's probably quite a famous...
Well, was everyone wearing, like, nice white jackets? Then it's a big indicator.
Everyone had, look, they insisted I wear a nice white jacket. I'm not really sure how I ended up at home afterwards.
All a blur.
Yeah, the whole afternoon was a blur. Like I'd had 10 drinks.
We need to talk about TV and movie for a second.
Okay.
So it's Saturday. The Hunger Games Catching Fire first trailer comes out tomorrow. Does anyone else like the Hunger Games besides me?
I haven't seen the Hunger Games. It's remarkable.
I haven't seen it, and I haven't read the books. I was kind of curious to read the books, but then I heard like the first one was good, and then it kind of dissolved into like those romancy love triangle things for the second.
I think they're all
two
great.
books, and I was like, I
think they're all great, to be honest.
Oh my god, that place looks terrifying.
It does.
They all look so scared.
Whoa.
There weren't that many people in there that like the last time, and they weren't all in that position. That makes it look much weirder than what it was.
Yeah, there's like this one girl on like the right who's like looking up. She's just like, "Can I go home? I've been here for 3 weeks."
Well, honestly, like I usually find shit like that quite creepy. So like I went in just out of curiosity, but like as I was going down like the blackened hallways, I was thinking like, is this some kind of like a Twilight Zone scenario? Am I going to be trapped in here?
Wow.
Sort of labyrinth. Like it was peculiar. But mostly I just think it's pretentious. Because what the bloke said to me before was that, like, yeah, it's where people can go to, like, get away from the stress of shopping. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you're rich enough to be able to afford to shop in Selfridges, then you have nothing to be stressed about.
Shopping. If you get stressed out from shopping, why go shopping in the first place?
Shopping should not be stressful unless you have a screaming toddler to keep up with. or like 3 screaming toddlers. If you were there by yourself, shopping should not be stressful.
Well, like if it's a rainy day and you're in a supermarket and you've got to buy bread and milk, that's one thing. But if you're going around Selfridges looking at perfume and duvet covers, then you've got nothing to be stressed about.
Oh, smelling all this expensive perfume is getting tiring.
I have to rest my feet.
This woman was just such an idiot.
My mom, I had to mute my mic for a second there when you were telling that story, because my mom came up and said that we're trying to figure out what breed our dog is, because we have no fucking idea what breed our dog is. He's so fucking weird. So my dad...
I don't know what breed my dog is either. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
My parents were looking at pictures of Australian Shepherds, because we think that he may have a little bit of Australian Shepherd in him. I may not put this in the podcast. I'm just telling you guys because it was fucking cute. But my dad enlarged the picture, and my dog was sitting on the edge of the bed and started like whining, like. And my mom's
That's
like,
a really good expression.
"Is that your mama?" And he's like,
Aww.
You should keep that in the podcast. That's sweet.
yeah.
That is
And like,
I have this. Oh, sorry, Greer.
and he's if you look at pictures of my dog, like, if anybody can figure out what breed my dog is, please tell me. Because even the vet is like, I don't fucking know, you know?
It's a dog. There you go.
Or is it?
It's a cat in a costume.
It's not something that it's a necessity that we know, but I mean, I want to know what to tell people when they ask, because...
I know exactly how you feel. My dog's 9. We've had him for like several years, and I still don't know what the hell he is entirely.
Yeah. I mean,
I love
apparently,
that.
like, blood work that you can do, but we don't know where he came from, or, like, what his parents were, or... And
Well, hopefully they were dogs.
I was thinking about pets the other day, and I said to my mom, I'm like, when you think about it, it's really sad, because Elvis is my dog. I said, Elvis doesn't know who his mom and dad are, and he might have had brothers and sisters, and he doesn't know who they are either.
You've been watching Legally Blonde, haven't you?
Have I? Legally Blonde, I don't remember. I love
Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde,
Oh, yeah.
in which they locate Bruce's parents.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they locate it too.
But,
They do also locate them.
Like-
That's another story
a bunch
for
of
another time.
I know what you mean again, Greer, but you know, they do forget, but that doesn't mean like, you know, they never knew. They just forget, and then they're happy with the family they have.
I'm like,
Yeah, most animals don't really, stay like in a family unit anyway, so they're just like whatever.
well,
Yeah.
if they're in,
They adjust.
yeah, I mean, they mainly when they're with a human now, they stay with like a pack unit. Like that's how dogs operate.
But I've lived away from home for a week, and I don't know who the fuck my parents are.
Oh no! Wait, didn't that happen in Peter Pan? They forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
In the Disney movie, did that happen? I don't remember.
In some
I think-
versions, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, like the original. Did Hans Christian Andersen write Peter Pan?
Man, you've got to stop hanging out with Peter Pan.
No, he did not.
J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hans Christian Andersen was fucking I don't. Who?
He wrote everything else.
He wrote everything else. Yeah.
Kind of a nut bar. I think those stories are older, like Hansel and Gretel
Yeah.
and...
He wrote
Oh,
like
yeah,
Little
for sure.
Mermaid. That's what I was thinking of. He wrote the Little Mermaid. Little
Yeah,
Mermaid
the
is fucking.
original story's nuts.
Little Mermaid is fucked up. Like,
Dude, the original story of most fairy tales are fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
fucked
what makes
up.
them cool.
Like, oh my god, it's so.
Behave or you'll turn into sea foam.
I remember I got a storybook when I was a kid of like the original Little Mermaid story, and it's like, oh yeah, I love the movie, but then I read it, I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, I was so scarred for life because I'm like, was Disney lying to me this entire time? Like,
Oh,
Yes.
they lie about a lot of shit. Like, no, just because some of the movies they choose to adapt for children were never meant for children.
Okay.
Like
No.
I read on Cracked, like the original Hunchback at Notre Dame is really not for children.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
I mean, the Disney film is quite kind of harrowing
the
in
Disney
places.
movie is still fucking dark.
It is, but the book's even darker.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
actually really want to read the book.
But there definitely are rare occasions of Disney kind of nearly going to that edge. Like Pinocchio, I think the scene where the boys turn into donkeys, that's one of
Oh
the
my
most
God.
disturbing things I've ever seen in the film.
My brother still says the saddest moment of his life is when the little kid is the donkey and they're like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Alexander."
I want to go home to my mama.
It's like
And then
the
he's like-
saddest thing ever.
It's so sad. I mean, and like the bit where Lampwick, like you can just see his shadow on the wall
Mhm.
turning into the donkey, and he's just shouting "Mama!" and then
Or even the scene
Yeah.
where Pinocchio is like in the cage with what's his nuts.
what's his name?
I like that saying. I want to spread that.
Thank you for that.
That's
That's
incredible.
a
What's
whole
his
bunch
nuts?
of nuts there.
Yeah.
That's great.
What's nuts? See, as a British person, I feel like I can't pull that off.
Well, then say, what's my bollocks?
What's his bollocks?
Hey, y'all, what's my bollocks up in here?
What's his... But I remember I was a couple of weeks ago I was helping my mom babysit some kids, and one of the 3-year-old loves Lady and the Tramp. Have you guys fucking watched Lady and the Tramp lately?
My God.
Holy!
My sister had nightmares from that movie. She said, like, what was it, like the rat scene?
No,
like,
not even that. I was staring at disbelief at the screen. Like, remember when the dog catcher catches Lady and puts her in the
oh god, the pound.
And all the dogs are like
ever.
howling and crying. The dogs are physically crying. And I'm like,
I know.
what the
I haven't watched that movie in ages, but I just
Eat your heart out, Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
the incredibly racist Siamese cats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are Sire. Yeah, that's appalling.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
Between them and the like landlord from Breakfast at
Well,
Tiffany's,
it's
like
that-
it's amazing that.
Not only is that racist, I'm a cat person, so I'm like, why do cats always have to be dicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, because it's a dog movie, so if the movie's
I
about
know,
dogs,
but
of course cats are gonna be dicks.
Well, in general, like, if you have a villain in a kid's movie and it's like animal, anthropomorphic animals or whatever, or any kind of animal movie, it's always like the cats, the snakes, anything that's slightly not, like a puppy that will love you and is kind of derpy. It's evil.
Yeah, it's because cats seem clever.
Yeah.
Well, and plus cats are more distant.
Kind of enigmatic and.
Another movie I watched when I was over there was Babe, and that's another movie where like
I haven't seen Babe in
just for
forever.
a little while, because there's not really a villain in that movie, but like for a minute, the only villain in the movie was a cat.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
the villains were those 2 kids.
Kind of. They were, yeah, a little, like,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
remember the cat was like sitting there with Babe and being like, he's gonna make you into bacon. He doesn't really love you, and like, what a dick. But then he gets put out, and the only reason he's like pissed off is because he was the one who scratched Babe and got put out in the rain. So it's his own goddamn fault.
In the cat's defense, they were just going to turn him into bacon.
They weren't though. I think
The cat is right.
one of the best scenes in movie history, and I think it's super underrated, is that scene in Babe where
I know what you're gonna say.
the pig gets sick, and like Farmer Hoggett's trying to feed the formula to him, and he's not wanting to do it, so he like sings a song and he starts drinking it, and then he like dances around, and it's like super.
Aww.
That is the best scene in any fucking
It's
movie.
incredible because it's incredibly moving.
Yeah.
First of all, then the kind of punchline where the animals are just staring at him through the window.
Yeah,
He's feeling self-conscious even though it's like a fucking horse.
it's such an
like,
uplifting song too. Like the
That
fact
should
that the
be
song
horse.
is great. I think that's like.
what was that Family Guy joke? Like, people aren't terrible, horses are terrible people.
But I really think that's like one of the most underrated scenes in a movie ever. Like
I agree.
nobody ever talks about Babe for some reason.
I mean, no, Babe's pretty loved. I think just maybe it's not as loved as it should be.
Yeah.
It's one of
I agree.
it's one of the few kids movies with live action animals that the sequel was actually really great.
The film turned James Cromwell, who played Farmer Hoggett, into a vegetarian. He said he realised how intelligent animals were, and after that he couldn't eat them.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I know, pretty
He's
incredible.
a good actor here. That guy, even though
Yeah.
he doesn't have many lines or anything, but you know.
Yeah, it's a great character because there's a real kind of quiet sort of, I don't know, decency and intelligence.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy.
And even like for the antagonist, the movie did have like, well, except for the cat, like they all end up like redeeming themselves in the end, like the male dog. You know.
Yeah, he does, and like, I mean, it's a weirdly kind of complex comment on prejudice actually, because you've got the 2 dogs, and the female dog warms to Babe even though she knows she shouldn't, but she still has the prejudice against the sheep. So you like her, but you also kind of think less of her because the way she feels about that. And yet the other dog is prejudiced against both sheep and pigs, and yet he tried to save the sheep, and it's just
there's no black or white in it, and I think that's a pretty sophisticated
it's like that.
Can't we all just get along?
It's like that grandma that really loves you and you love her, except for the fact that she hates black people. Like,
oh, jeez.
Horrible racist.
Yeah.
I was in KFC earlier, and I got talking to this bloke because he had a baby, and I love babies. We were chatting, and I was like, oh, I'm getting on really well with this bloke. He seems lovely. And then he was like, yeah, and what I've noticed around this area is there are an awful lot of Arabs, not a lot of white people. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I was sitting in a bookstore and some old, like, elderly gentleman started talking to me, and then he just randomly, I think he said something about Jewish people, and then he's like, that's okay, I like them, or something, and I was just like,
I had that happen
oh, that's
too.
nice of you.
Oh my god.
thanks. He asked me if I was Jewish, and I'm like, no. He's like, I like Jewish people.
Yes, anyway.
I'm just like, what the? I'm gonna go now.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to clarify that you like Jewish people. It should be a given.
Yeah.
I had this same, like, really racist experience. Just, like, I was in this, what was that? I was in, like, a line for a Burger King. And, like, the cashier, I don't think she spoke a lot of English. She was, like, this black chick. And there was a guy in front of me, and he was just like, I don't know, I think she got his order wrong. And he was just like, well, I don't blame you people.
Oh my
and
god.
I'm just like, yeah, not to mention the whole staff was pretty much behind her, and they're all black. And he was just, like, kind of chuckling about it, and
Oh, great. Maybe he meant he doesn't blame waiters because they're so overworked.
Well, I don't know, but then he made, like, another comment, too. I forget. He just looked at me just like, and we were and now it's, like, awkwardly giggling because so was he. I forget what he said, but it was just, like, really uncomfortable, and I was just like, I just want to get my sandwich and go, please.
Yeah, I just kind of look away when people show shit like that.
Yeah, it was, and the cashier didn't even really care, which I thought was, like, really shocking.
I mean,
I'm just like,
when you work in the food service industry, you just get used to the ridiculous shit that happens.
Yeah, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's hard to do anything about it, like, in this area, because it's like, I mean, I've seen, they're not rampant, but I've seen, like, one or two bumper stickers of, like, oh, Obama's an or whatever, and it's like...
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I'll bleep that out, by the way.
Have you seen, like, all the, like, the Twitter postings when, I think it was when he got reelected, of all the, Obama's, I'll go with bleep. We all know what they called him. But, or,
No, wait,
they call
I
I think some of them said, like...
No, say, like, it's such a common fucking word around here that it's just, like, I don't even care if I say it anymore. It's just, like, whatever. I grew up with it being such a common word in, like, high school and shit, so it's, like, I don't even care anymore.
That's still kind of messed up, though. I'm sorry, but...
I should not be accustomed.
My mom likes to, make the point that when she married my father, he's from Virginia and he grew up in the segregated South. So she's like, I had to break him of the habit of using the N-word.
Oh.
Like, my dad's not racist. He
geez.
just grew up in an area where they said that. It's like,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
my parents and I say it, but as, like, joke, like.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You
when we're making fun of racist people, we'll use that word.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a real kind of context thing, and I am kind of I'm sort of in the minority of, I think, reasonably kind of educated, open-minded people that think that, like, in certain contexts, intent has to be taken into account. Like, when you're just, like, when you're obviously, you in no way harbour those feelings, and you're in your kitchen, and you say it, and it's obviously not, I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this. But, like, I just think, yeah, I mean, but what I don't think is okay is I don't think it's okay to say those things in a classroom or in a workplace or
directly
in the public.
to
I don't
that
think
person.
It's okay.
I mean, saying that, like, oh, you grew up in a certain area and it's okay doesn't make it okay to just randomly go saying it at the mall or whatever. But you have to understand that some people have to be taught that that's not considered okay everywhere else.
Well, I mean, it's like I grew up in an area where and actually it's quite common, really, but in most schools and most areas, yeah, where you just, you randomly say, oh, that's so gay, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
No.
I know, I hear that a lot. Actually, my boyfriend's, like, little cousin, he's been saying that a lot, too.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
he's only, like, 10, so I think he picked it up from other people, so he's trying to, like, get him to stop.
You should show him, there's this fucking very strange ad for that campaign. It was a few years ago. I think Dane Cook did a joke about it. It was really funny, and I've seen it on TV where these girls are like shopping and they're trying on clothes, and the girl's like, "What do you think of this one?" And the other girl's like, "It's a little gay." And then Hillary Duff comes out of nowhere and she's like, "You shouldn't say that."
That's badass.
Wait, who came out?
Hillary Duff.
Hillary Duff.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Duff.
Oh, Hillary Duff. Oh, right. Oh, that's still cool.
Yeah.
I can't afford Hillary
Weird.
Clinton.
It'd be cool if it was Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Duff of
what-
all people, like, she doesn't
I
have
get-
anything else to do except go around and be like, "It's not cool to say that's so gay."
I get that those type of things are needed so that teenagers and one can understand
Yeah,
that
like,
that's,
I thought it
Oh, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
just a dumb way to call something
I just
stupid or lame or whatever. That just makes you sound like an idiot. The PSA's it's just like, don't fucking tell me what to say. I don't think those things work.
Yeah, because like when you have a PSA that's like, it's not cool to do this, then all the kids think, well, obviously it's cool to do that.
when
Oh,
Sonic's
yeah,
like,
so, I mean,
"That's
it's like
so
those
good."
awful anti-drug PSAs that just, I mean, it's like the ones that Doug did a video about that, essentially they're telling you that if you do drugs, you're going to die. And, that's bollocks. And kids aren't stupid. They know that's bollocks. So they're going to think, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I had
So
to-
You're not going to tell me the truth. So
my mom didn't know about the Pee Wee Herman drug PSA. We were watching Pee Wee's Big Adventure one day, and I'm like, "Have you seen that drug PSA with Pee Wee Herman talking about crack?" And she's like, "What?" This is crack.
can I just say that, like, Pee Wee Herman, as somebody who had no idea who he was until I watched the Nostalgia Critic, like, just
Really?
because, well, he's not a thing over here,
Well,
Pee Wee
yeah.
Herman.
He's not an American thing, so.
But, like, yeah, I mean, I'm just, and, like, I watched the intro to Pee Wee's Playhouse, and what is this?
Pee Wee's Playhouse is one of the greatest shows ever. To be honest, I love that show. Like,
But do you not
not
think
even
that, like,
in an ironic way, I think it is some of the best television we have ever had in America.
but
It's so
I love the fact,
creative,
like,
everything. Like, I watched a documentary once about the guy who did, like, the art for the art direction. He designed, like, the set and, like, the furniture and the chairs and shit, and it was really cool. Like, all the people on that show worked really hard on that show.
I mean, I'll have to give it a proper look because I'm sure there is merit to it.
It
but
is really good.
It's just funny because it's like when I saw. Oh, pardon me. It's like when I showed you rather the Magic Roundabout, and you were just like, "What?"
Yeah, that was.
No, to me that's an example of a really great British children's show. But you've got to just go with it.
Yeah.
Or enter into the spirit. Guys, I'm gonna have to duck out early, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we'll end it right here.
Is that all right? I mean, if you guys have
it's
got
fine. We've been going for about an hour and a half, so.
Yeah, I should too. My sister actually arrived in the middle of the podcast, so I want to go hang out with her.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Well, it was nice.
Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Really...
miss talking to you guys. I've been so busy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think this has been one of the nicest podcasts in ages. I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
I was gonna,
I love you guys.
I mean, you guys, yeah, I was really talking to you. It was nice talking to you, audience. Like, I'm actually talking to the audience. Game of Thrones comes on tonight, or not tonight, tomorrow. Game of Thrones comes on tomorrow.
Woo.
Really excited.
I'm gonna go and see Fargo. That's what I'm gonna go and do right now. I'm gonna go to the pub first.
Okay.
Awesome.
It was a nice podcast this week, I think. My dog is licking my foot, I think.
Aw, hi Elvis.
He's telling me you need to stop talking to these people and get downstairs and take me out to pee. So I really need to pee. Okay. So
Well, that's contagious.
Yeah, go Greer before it's too late.
bye everybody.
Bye guys.
Bye.